In 1962, Jet magazine featured this person in its Mr. and Mrs. section. She was a Mr. who the whole town thought was a Mrs. or maybe a Miss. He was not a celebrity or a politician or anyone of significant historical importance, just a plain old everyday civilian like you and me who got involved in some hot mess. Well, maybe he wasn't exactly like us. I'll read the story, then show you a follow-up story, and you can decide if he was like you. Let's get into it. Today's story comes from this issue of Jet magazine, dated July 19th, 1962. The article is titled, "Death Uncovers Secret of Man, 66 years old who lived as a maid." And it reads, quote, "When Florence J. Robinson, the only Negro in Kendallville, Indiana, was hospitalized by a stroke, the community was stunned to learn the well-liked housekeeper was a man. When he died without regaining consciousness, local residents were left in doubt about all but 15 of his 66 years. We buried him as a woman, in his best dress and jewelry," mortician Walter Height explained. "That is the way we knew him. Described as tall, almost 6 feet, with a flat chest, big hands, short hair, coarse voice, and pierced ears, he was able to hide his identity because, as one resident said, 'We don't know very much about the colored race.' Once a youth discovered she had a heavy growth of beard. It was Snow White," Height said. He seemed interested in things women did," one woman recalled. Florence owned a sewing machine, liked to knit, paint, and sketch, fond of jewelry, perfume, nice clothing, and long fingernails. He earned a reputation as a quiet, nice lady. She liked music, painting, and the church, the last employer said. A native of Chicago, Florence accompanied an employer to Wauwaka and worked 13 years until that woman and another employer died. 2 years ago, he became the housekeeper of an 82-year-old woman in nearby Kendallville. Left an orphan at the age of 8, the masquerader once declared, "I've lived among strangers since then." But why he changed his identity remains secret. During the Depression, when he was out of work, someone said, "A Negro woman can always find work as a maid," and he has been a woman ever since, some residents speculate. Remembered in the will of his first employer, he left an estate of less than $1,000, according to Height. He said most of the personal items would be sold to help pay hospital, doctor, and funeral expenses. Florence was buried in nearby Cosperville, in a grave arranged for by the first Wauwaka employer, Height explained. End quote. That must have been one interesting funeral. Now, I am very surprised that the description of your boy Florence didn't make some of the residents of Kendallville a little suspicious. Almost 6 feet tall, flat-chested, big hands, short hair, coarse voice, beard. Sounds like a woman to me. But in the Kendallvillians' defense, they didn't know much about the colored race, as that one resident said. This story is strange as hell, but the good thing is that our guy Florence didn't seem to bother anyone. He just kept to himself with his sewing and knitting and whatnot. Because no one even knew that Florence was a man, there was only one speculation about why he pretended to be a woman. Those who knew him assumed that he did it so that he could work. Is that why you think he did it? Let me know in the comment section. I'm not sure why he did it, but if commit to the bit was a person. Speaking of a person, according to this article from the Indianapolis Star from June 30th, 1962, that is exactly how Florence was identified on his death certificate, as a person. More specifically, Florence J. Robinson, 65 years old, a person. This video was originally uploaded to my main channel Ty's Hot Mess History in July of 2022. I'm now moving my Black entertainment and 1950s to 1970s pop culture scandal stories to this dedicated channel, Ty's Hot Mess History Soul. You have a lot more scandalous stories like this on the way, some old and some new. Thank you for watching.